We are what we are because of the dominant thoughts we allow to occupy our minds. Napoleon Hill, Your Right to be Rich. Listen carefully. Behind the noise of the world, behind your own doubts, there is a frequency, a silent transmission that is, at this very moment, sculpting your reality. Do you believe that life it happens with you? That circumstances are accidental? That luck is something distributed at random? That's the biggest lie ever told. The truth is that you're living inside an echo. Every dominant thought you allow into your mind is not harmless. It is a sound, a command sent out to the universe. And the universe, in its infallible law, always echoes back. Most people live in tune with the echo of fear and limitation. In this video, you will learn how to become the source of the transmission. Stay here and discover how to stop being the reflection of the world and start making the world your reflection. There is a silence, a deep silence that most people never dare to visit. It is not the absence of noise, quite the opposite. The outside world is a ceaseless cacophony, a whirlwind of opinions, of fears, of news, of distractions. But beneath all that there is another place, an inner space, the great echo chamber of your soul. And the question that defines the destiny of every human being who has ever walked the earth is this: what is the sound emanating from your camera? Is it an echo of doubt? A trembling whisper of, what if I don't make it? Is it a repetition of the criticisms you received as a child, of the doors that closed, of the defeats that scarred you? Is your mind a museum of past failures, playing the same funeral tune day after day? Or is there something else? Beneath the noise of mediocrity, can you hear it? One note, one single note, pure and clear. The note of your deepest desire. The vibration of an unfulfilled purpose, the frequency of a version of you that already exists in the realm of the unseen, waiting to be called into being. For herein lies the great secret, hidden in plain sight, whispered by every great philosopher, avatar, and titan of industry since the beginning of time. The universe does not respond to your hopes. It does not bow to your casual desires. It does not care about your complaints. The universe, in its majestic, impersonal justice, responds to one thing only: the dominant frequency you emit. Your thoughts are not harmless, ethereal things. They are not smoke. Every thought you hold with emotion is a transmission. It is a real energy wave with a unique vibrational signature. It is a command sent into the ether. It is a seed planted in the fertile but blind soil of infinity. And the echo always comes back. Not as you expect, perhaps. Not in the time you demand. But it does come back. In the form of the circumstances you attract. In the people who come or go from your life. In the opportunities that materialize out of nowhere. Or in the walls that seem insurmountable. You are not living in a world of chance. You are living within your own echo chamber. You are a transmission tower, and your present reality is a faithful reflection of what you have consistently transmitted up to this very moment. Most people live as passive receivers, tuned by default to the station of fear, scarcity, and resignation. They absorb the echoes of others, the mass hysteria, the belief in limitation, and in turn, they retransmit this same frequency, perpetuating their own prison and calling it reality. But the architects of reality know the truth. They know they are the source of the transmission. They do not ask the world for permission to succeed. They do not wait for conditions to be favorable. They lock themselves in the echo chamber of their minds and begin the hardest and most important work there is, the work of intentionally generating a new sound. A sound so pure, so powerful, so charged with faith and purpose that it silences all other noise. A sound that reverberates through the cosmos and commands a new reality to manifest. Today, we are not just going to talk about positive thoughts. That is for children. Today we are going to talk about the physics of creation, about the responsibility of being the architect of your universe. Today you will learn to silence the echo of the past and compose the symphony of your future. The construction of tomorrow does not begin tomorrow. It begins now, in the silence of your mind. With the first deliberate thought, you will learn the first note of your masterpiece. From today on, you will no longer live as most people live, tuned to the echo of fear and limitation. Because in this video, you will learn to become the source of the transmission. Stay with me until the end and discover how the echo of your thoughts today can build the world of tomorrow. how this journey is resonating with your soul, and you feel called to be an architect of your own reality, then subscribe and join our Builders Alliance. I am Prosperum, and I will be your guide as you learn to compose your masterpiece. A thought, by itself, is but a flash of lightning, a fleeting spark in the vastness of consciousness. It is desire that turns it into fire, a burning desire, not a lukewarm, it would be nice if, desire. No, a consuming desire, a divine obsession, a definite purpose that becomes the sun around which all other thoughts orbit. Consider Henry Ford. When he decided to build an 8-cylinder engine in a single block, his engineers told him it was impossible. The engineering of the time itself said it was impossible. They echoed the voice of reality. But Ford's mind was not a democracy. It was a dictatorship of purpose. He did not ask for an opinion. He gave an order. Build it anyway, he said. And they worked. And they failed. And they worked some more. The echo that came back from the physical world was the echo of impossibility. But Ford's transmission was stronger. His frequency was unwavering. He kept broadcasting the certainty of its existence. And as history tells us, the impossible bowed. The V8 engine was born, not of metal and oil, but of the sublime stubbornness of a single thought, fueled by a desire that burned hotter than any furnace. Your thinking needs this clarity. A vague goal generates a vague echo, a diffuse reality. I want more money. What does that mean? The universe does not understand generalities. Finding a coin on the street means more money. You need to be precise, surgical. How much, by when? And most importantly, why? What is the purpose behind the purpose? It is this why that fuels the fire of desire. Think of a sculptor standing before a block of marble. He doesn't just randomly start chipping away at it with his chisel. In his mind, the statue is already there. He sees it in every glorious detail. He's not creating the statue. He's just removing the excess marble that hides it. Your work is the same. Your vision of the future must be so real, so tangible in your mind, that the physical world seems like a phantom, and your thought the real substance. You must live the end from the beginning. You must feel the thrill of your desire already fulfilled. This is faith, not in the religious sense, but in the scientific sense. Faith is the chemistry that transforms the energy of thought into its physical equivalent. Faith is absolute conviction in what is not yet seen. It is the courage to bet everything on a reality that, for now, exists only in the echo chamber of your thinking mind. The Wright brothers had no evidence that man could fly. On the contrary, the entire history of mankind and the very law of gravity were a constant echo that they were mad, but their faith was on a higher frequency. The vision of their machine gliding through the sky was more real to them than the solid ground beneath their feet. And it was this faith, this unshakable inner certainty, that allowed them to ignore the thousands of echoes of failure of their prototypes, until finally, on a windy beach in North Carolina, the outside world aligned with the world within. The physical echo finally matched the mental transmission, and mankind learned to fly. Your faith is being tested right now. Every bill, every criticism, every obstacle is a test. It's the world asking, are you sure? Do you really believe the sound you're making? Or will you change the station at the first sign of static? You need to crystallize your thought. Write it down. Read it out loud, morning and night. Not as an empty exercise, but as an act of command, an act of tuning your own transmission tower. You are calibrating your frequency. You are telling your subconscious, the chief engineer of your reality, what is the one project it should work on. And once the subconscious accepts the project, it works 24/7, moving heaven and earth to bring the echo back to you, in the form of ideas, of intuitions, of chance encounters, of synchronicities that defy logic. Do not underestimate this power. Thought, when fused with burning desire and unshakable faith, is the most potent force in the universe. It is the raw material from which stars, planets, and empires are made. Your mind is not a playground. It is a workshop, a factory. Your thought is not a suggestion, it is a blueprint. Now take the drawing board, define what you want clearly, boldly, and start designing your world. As this is a true project that resonates with every fiber of your being, demonstrate your conviction. Click on the like button. Now, as an act of declaration, a signal sent to the cosmos that you are taking control of your thoughts. Once the design is defined in your mind, The architect assumes his most critical role, that of gatekeeper. Your mind, this sacred workshop, must be guarded with relentless vigilance, because as soon as you begin to transmit a new frequency, a frequency of success, of abundance, of power, the old world will try to invade. The echoes of fear will come. They are subtle, seductive. Be realistic. Don't get your hopes up. Remember what happened last time. Fear is a parasitic frequency. It feeds on your creative energy and produces the echo of paralysis. You need to identify this voice, not fight it, but simply observe it for what it is, a memory, a shadow, an echo from the past, and gently but firmly return to the frequency of your purpose. The echoes of doubt will come. They will come from within and, more loudly, from without. People you love, well-meaning friends, will project their own limitations onto you. This is too risky. No one in our family has ever done this. Why don't you get a secure job? They don't mean any harm. They are simply broadcasting the frequency they are tuned to. They live in a world defined by scarcity and security, and your new broadcast of abundance and courage is a dissonance to them. Here you have a choice. You can lower your frequency to fit into their comfort zone so as not to rock the boat, or you can protect your project. You can appreciate their concern, but in your inner sanctum, you refuse to let their static interfere with your transmission. Mental discipline is not about thinking positive all the time. That is impossible. It is about how quickly you can return to your center, to your definite purpose when you are pulled away. It is the act of choosing, 1,000 times a day if necessary, which thought you will focus on. What you focus on expands. Energy flows where attention goes. If your attention is on the obstacle grows. If your attention is on the vision becomes clearer. Think of Andrew Carnegie. When he envisioned a steel empire, America was an agrarian nation. Steel was a luxury, but he didn't focus on the existing reality. He focused on the reality his vision required. He surrounded himself with other minds who could see what he saw. He formed what Napoleon Hill called the mastermind. An alliance of minds tuned to the same frequency of purpose creates a third mind, a synergistic force that amplifies each individual's transmission. Your personal echo chamber connects with others, creating a harmony of creation so powerful that it becomes a force of nature. Who is in your alliance? With whom do you share your most precious thoughts? Are you surrounding yourself with people who raise your frequency or who drain it? Be a relentless guardian, not only of your own thoughts, but also of the influences you allow into your vicinity. Your environment is a secondary ecosystem. It should reinforce your primary transmission, not contradict it. This work of discipline is not passive. It is a silent war, fought moment by moment on the battlefield of your mind. It is the conscious decision not to engage in gossip, not to consume the fear-mongering garbage that the media sells, to tune out the noise and spend time in silence, just listening to your own transmission, strengthening it. It is the act of reading books that expand you, of listening to music that uplifts you, of walking in nature to reconnect with the source of creation. Every small choice is an act of attunement. Every conscious decision is an act of construction. Most people leave the gate of their mind wide open, vulnerable to any wind of opinion, any storm of negativity, and then they wonder why their lives are chaotic, not the architect. The architect knows that the quality of his outer structure is a direct reflection of the integrity of his inner fortress. He builds the walls of his mind first. He makes sure that the foundation of his thinking is unshakable, because he knows that storms will come. They always do. And the only thing that will determine whether his empire will stand is the strength of his inner castle. Building this inner fortress is the work of a lifetime. It is a daily discipline. To solidify this foundation, I direct you to the source from which these principles spring. The book Those Who Think Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Let your pages be the bricks of your new mindset. You can find the link to learn about it in our reading suggestions in the first comment pinned below. And here is your architect challenge for the next 7 days. Identify the main source of negative echo in your life, be it a person, a habit, or a source of information, and with courage, silence it completely for a week. Don't announce it. Don't discuss it. Just observe the clarity that emerges in the silence you have created. And then, with the strength of your inner castle solidified, the echo begins to return. But it doesn't return as a finished empire handed to you on a silver platter. It returns as action, as an impulse, an idea that wakes you up at 3 in the morning, an irresistible urge to make a connection, to write an email, to start building the prototype. Thought by itself is static. Action is what makes it dynamic. Action is the chisel that begins to carve the marble of the physical world. It is the bridge between your inner world of vision and the outer world of results. Most people get stuck on the margin of visualization. They dream, they plan, they affirm, but they never cross the bridge. Inspired action is the first tangible echo of your new thinking. And often it requires you to move before you're ready, to take the first step without seeing the whole staircase. So said Martin Luther King Jr., a man whose message of equality and justice was so powerful that it reshaped a nation. Take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. And when you take action, the universe takes action with you. New doors open. Resources you didn't know existed appear. People you need to meet cross your path. But none of this happens until you take action. Action is your declaration to the universe that you mean business. And with action comes what most call failure. The architect of reality calls it feedback. Thomas Edison, the Menlo Park Museum wizard, did not fail 10,000 times in trying to create the light bulb. He himself said, "I have not failed. I have merely discovered 10,000 ways that will not work." Each failure was an echo, a piece of data, a feedback from the universe telling him to adjust his approach, not his vision. His transmission, "There will be light," remained constant. What changed were the methods, the materials, the actions. He was in dialogue with reality, using each echo of no to move closer to yes. This is where dreamers give up. At the first sign of temporary defeat, they change their transmission. They conclude, "I was wrong, it can't be done," and they return to the safe frequency of mediocrity. And the universe obediently sends them the echo of this new belief in the form of more stagnation. Resilience is your ability to maintain your original frequency in the face of conflicting feedback. It's the spiritual stubbornness to continue believing in your vision, even when physical reality seems to mock it. It's looking at your empty bank account and continuing to broadcast the frequency of abundance. It's looking at your customerless startup and continuing to broadcast the frequency of global success. It's being rejected 100 times and, on the 101st attempt, conveying the same certainty and enthusiasm as the first. This is not self-deception. It is vibrational integrity. It is the understanding that there is a gestation period between the seed, the thought, and the harvest, the result. During this time, you must water the seed with faith and action and pull out the weeds of doubt and fear. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination. He watched his first animation studio go bankrupt. He was betrayed and lost the rights to his first successful character. The echo of the world was a resounding no. But Disney's broadcast was of a magical world where joy and wonder were real, and he refused to change the channel. He took all that feedback, all that pain, and used it as fuel to create a mouse named Mickey. And with that mouse, he built an empire that redefined entertainment forever. Your pain, your failure, your temporary defeat, they are not the end of your story. They are the building blocks. They are the fire that tempers the steel of your determination. Every no you receive is simply testing the strength of your yes. Every obstacle is an opportunity to strengthen your transmission, to purify your vision, to become stronger, wiser, more aligned with your purpose. Don't curse the hardships. They are the gymnasium of the soul. They are the echo that forces you to shout your truth even louder. Act massively, act with faith, embrace the feedback, adjust your course, but never, ever change your vision. Your transmission is a command. Keep sending it until the world has no choice but to obey. You've heard the theory, you've seen the examples, you've felt the truth. Now, anchor this knowledge. Scroll down to comments section and answer this question. What is the first note of the symphony you will begin to compose today? State your first deliberate thought. And if this message has lit a flame within you, remember that there are others sailing in the darkness, searching for a lighthouse. Share this video. Be the echo of hope and power in someone else's life. And finally, the echo returns in its fullness. The blueprint that was once just a whisper in your mind now stands before you, solid, real, tangible. The empire is built, the symphony is complete. Outer reality is now a perfect mirror of your inner vision. At this point, the common human reaction is relief, relaxation. But the architect of reality understands that this is the most crucial moment of all. This is not the end of the cycle, it is the opportunity to amplify it. This is done through a powerful, often misunderstood force, gratitude. Gratitude is not just saying thank you. Gratitude is an act of conscious attunement. It is the act of acknowledging that the system works. It is looking at your creation and saying to the universe, I received the echo. The transmission was successful. The law was fulfilled. This act of conscious recognition closes the energy circuit and prepares you for a new cycle at a higher level. Gratitude is the frequency of abundance. When you are grateful for what you have, you tune your mind to see more of what to be grateful for. You become a magnet for more success, more love, more health, more wealth. Ingratitude, on the other hand, is the frequency of scarcity. It is looking at the empire you have built and focusing on the one tower that is not perfectly aligned. It is achieving your goal and immediately feeling empty, already looking for the next thing to fill it. This breaks the circuit. It sends a message to the universe that it was not enough, and the universe will obediently send you the echo of lack. Practice gratitude as a discipline, not a reaction. Be grateful for the journey, not just the destination. Be grateful for temporary setbacks, for they have been your greatest teachers. Be grateful for skeptics, for they have forced you to strengthen your faith. Be grateful for the air you breathe, for the mind that can think, for the heart that can feel. For it is from this foundation of gratitude that all great empires are sustained and expanded. And know that your work is never done. You are a creator, an architect. Your nature is to build. Once an empire is built, you will see a new horizon, a new vision calling to you. Life is not about reaching a final destination and resting. It is about the joy of continual creation. It is about becoming an ever greater, bolder, more magnificent expression of the creative force that flows through you. Living by these new beliefs requires time and dedication. To help you on this journey of transformation, we have made available the ebook, The Science Behind the Law of Attraction: How Positive Thoughts Shape Your Reality. With it, you can complement what we have discussed here. The ebook is available in the first pinned comment. The echo you leave behind is not in the stone structures or the numbers in your bank account. That is just the residue. The true echo, your true immortality, is in the frequency you mastered. It is in the inspiration you imparted. It is in the lives you touched by daring to build your world, proving to them that they could build theirs too. Your legacy is the note your life added to the symphony of human existence. So look inside one last time, into your echo chamber. The silence is there, waiting for your instruction. The marble stands before you, raw and formless. The universe is paused, with bated breath, awaiting your command. Don't ask, don't expect, don't wish. Decide. Pick the note, compose the melody. Feel the desire burn. Embrace faith as your only compass. Act as if it is impossible to fail, and transmit. Transmit with every fiber of your being. Grab the chisel, the hammer, the clipboard. The world of tomorrow is being built today, within you. For the power was never out there, it never left you. Your thought is the beginning and the end of everything. Your journey as an architect is just beginning. To understand the foundation on which we build today, continue the saga. Click on the video that appears on the screen now and dive in part 1, The Mind That Builds Empires from Nothing. See you there.